Intersection Movement Assistance, or IMA, is an application in vehicle-to-everything or V2X ecosystems that can help coordinate vehicles at intersections. Based on the exchange of critical real-time data from the involved vehicles, it can detect and evaluate probable crash zones in time. The IMA bases its calculations on the so-called extended perception. That's kinematic description data of known dynamic objects at the scene, consisting of a local perception from onboard data, collective perception messages, or CPM, V2X messages received from neighbors. But how can we trust the extended perception data when there are potential attack risks in the transmitted vehicle-to-everything messages? While the so-called Misbehavior Detection System, or MBD, can detect basic to moderate data semantic attacks based on plausibility and consistency checks, smart attacks, where the V2X data appears plausible and consistent, are much harder to recognize. The focus of the first Connect use case is to demonstrate Connect's trust assessment framework's ability to provide accurate trustworthiness assessments of CPM messages. This will ensure that the IMA bases its decision calculations on trustworthy data only, guaranteeing its safe operation. As trust sources, the Trust Assessment Framework, or TAF, will use trustworthiness claims and MBD evidence. Use case setup. The following demo is the initial demonstration of the Intersection Movement Assist application and the Misbehavior Detection Service, without the use of the Connect Trustworthiness Assessment Framework. 3 simulation applications will be used for this use case. 1. An artery-based simulation environment for the V2X communication. 2. Sumo for the road traffic simulation, and 3. Carla for a realistic scene simulation. The Intersection Movement Assistance application, written in Python, is integrated into the simulation environment with a graphical dashboard. 2 scenarios will be tested: a moderate attack and a smart attack. In both cases, the ego vehicle will receive false CPM information. Scenario 1: moderate attack. The attacker manipulates the position information of another vehicle in front of it to gain priority at the intersection. This scenario shows that the Misbehavior Detection Service, or MBD, detects the attack. A misbehavior report is generated. The IMA is not impacted by the attack. Scenario 2: smart attack. The attacker injects a ghost object into the scene in a consistent way to gain priority at the intersection. While a local roadside unit, also known as RSU, can detect the ghost object as an attack by comparing the CPM message with its local perception and generating a misbehavior report, the Misbehavior Detection Service in the ego vehicle cannot detect the attack. Proof of concept implementation. On the right side is the IMA dashboard, below it the Sumo interface. On the other side, we can see the Carla simulation showing the vehicles aiming for the intersection. Simple attack scenario. First, the attacker shifts the vehicle in front of it from its real position. Second, the ego vehicle, which wants to cross the intersection, receives the manipulated information and calculates the time to intersection as it approaches. Third, the ego vehicle detects the attack, ignores the false information, and generates a misbehavior report. Finally, by ignoring the attacker's information, the ego vehicle is able to cross the intersection safely. Smart attack scenario. First, the attacker injects a ghost object into the scene in a consistent way to gain priority at the intersection. Secondly, as vehicles approach, the RSU detects the attack by comparing its local perception with the CPM sent by the attacker, generating a misbehavior report. Meanwhile, the ego vehicle receives the false information, calculates its time to intersection, and an alert appears on the IMA dashboard. Fourth, the ego vehicle suddenly brakes despite having the priority due to the detected collision risk. And finally, the attacker gains priority and crosses the intersection. Here, we can imagine that if the ego vehicle had access to additional sources of trust, such as the trustworthiness of the attacker, based on the past misbehavior report sent to the mech, it could have avoided the attack by detecting it in time. Thank you. If you want to know more about the EU-funded Connect project, head over to horizon-connect.eu.